Hello and welcome back to the channel. Much like a worker of the night, the January transfer window has come and gone, and we're left sitting here alone trying to figure out what's just happened and why we have no money left. In truth, this window wasn't exactly the most eventful, but some stuff did happen eventually, so it's only right that we talk about it as if it means anything whatsoever. The country I live in has left the European Union, and there's a big cold thing that's wiping out half of the population of the world. But sure, football, let's talk about that. That's definitely at the forefront of all of our minds at this stage. Of course, we won't be discussing every single transfer that occurred during the January window. Why would we? That's mad. And I have crying and rocking in a corner to be getting on with, so let's crack on, shall we? I've divided up this roundup into 4 easily digestible sections, because we all know the attention span of anyone these days is significantly subpar, and it's, oh, that's a butterfly. The first section in this roundup is the best value for money section. Which deal was the best value for the purchasing club, not necessarily the selling club. Several candidates for this one, the likes of Takumi Minamino going to Liverpool for such a low fee, a lad who will be a very useful squad player going forward, and it was like 7.6 million or something. Ezekiel Palacios going from River Plate to Bayer Leverkusen, a great deal for both parties. £15.3 million is a lot of money for River Plate. It's not a great deal for Bayer Leverkusen, and they're getting a lad who's in his very early 20s, who will be able to boss that midfield for several years to come, and maybe sell him on for twice that price. And of course, Christian Eriksen going from Tottenham Hotspur to Inter Milan, in a deal which in an ideal world probably wouldn't have happened for Tottenham fans, as they would have preferred to have kept the influential playmaker around. But he had 6 months left in his contract. You've got 18 million quid for him, so you've got money for him, and Eriksen gets to leave and possibly win a Scudetto with Inter Milan. However, there can only really be one winner in this particular section, and that is the signing of Erling Braut Haaland from RB Salzburg to Borussia Dortmund. The German Giants were able to get the young Norwegian at an absolute snip of just £18 million due to a release clause in his contract. At time of writing, the young 19-year-old has, get this is mental, 7 goals and 1 assist in 3 games, and that's not even full games either. He's only played 136 minutes of football for Borussia Dortmund, which is bizarre, makes my brain hurt. He's 10 years younger than me, and genuinely the most impressive thing I've ever done in my life is learning all the words Till We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. He probably doesn't even know who Billy Joel is. In total so far this season, the young lad has a frankly disgusting 35 goals and 8 assists in 25 games in all comps this season. Thus far this season for the young Norwegian, he's taking an average of 2.8 shots per game, 0.6 key passes per game, and completing 0.7 dribbles in all competitions. This young prodigy seems to have the full package in regards to pace, power, and his ability to finish. Haaland could well be Dortmund's ace in the pack as they attempt to bring down the mighty Bayern Munich and break their stranglehold on German football, not just this season, but going forward for the next 5 or 6. We've done the best value, so now obviously we're going to do the worst value, because that's generally how these things work. Whilst there is an absolute plethora of seemingly ill-conceived moves throughout this January transfer window, at least for the majority of them they didn't cost an arm or a leg or kidney or left elbow. However, there's one that absolutely sticks out for me, and it is Wolves' purchase of the Portuguese, who'd have thought, winger Daniel Podence from Olympiacos. Despite his style being that of a direct winger who likes to run at his man, dribble a lot, play an incisive killer ball, his stats in this area have been thoroughly underwhelming. Thus far this season, Podence has made a total of 24 appearances in all competitions. In those 24 appearances, he has provided 6 goals, but absolutely bugger all in terms of assists. He does enjoy a dribble every now and again, but then again, don't we all? That doesn't actually mean anything, you idiot. Completing an average of 2.6 dribbles per game, but then again, you have to take into account the league that he's been playing in for the past few seasons. To be fair, if you watched any of our transfer videos on this channel throughout the past few years, you'll know that we tend to get things wrong, and hopefully he proves me wrong. However, I just don't see it, because he's a lad that fits, yes, he does fit into the mould of how Wolves play. However, I just don't see how his ability is greater than that of the lads that he's been brought in to replace, the likes of Adama Traore or even Neto. Given that price tag, there's just something about that move that doesn't add up. Hang on, who's his agent? It makes perfect sense now. Moving on to the third section of this transfer roundup, we move into the under the radar section. A huge number of noteworthy moves have been made during this transfer window, the majority of which are loans, but then you look at a lot of these lads and you think, Oh, I remember him. Or you'll be playing Football Manager, you'll search a lad, then you'll find out where he's actually playing now and you go, when the arse did he move there? On the subject of those loan moves, some of the more high profile ones are the likes of Yannick Carrasco, going back to Atletico Madrid, Alvaro Odriozola moving from Real Madrid to Bayern Munich on loan, and Suso leaving the San Siro and heading back to Spain to hook up with Sevilla on loan. As far as permanent deals go, there have been quite a few of those as well, to be fair, with a lot of noteworthy lads, one of which of course being Paco Alcácer, leaving Borussia Dortmund as he attempts to finally be the main man out of any club he's ever been, as he goes to Villarreal for around £20 million. The mass exodus from the San Siro continues with Krzysztof Piątek heading out of Milan and going to Hertha Berlin, which, bloody hell, that surprised me considering the teams that he was linked with throughout this window. And the likes of Julian Weigl again leaving Borussia Dortmund. What is with Borussia Dortmund? And heading to Portugal of all places to join Benfica of all teams. Although the one I would like to focus on is the signing of Dani Olmo by RB Leipzig from Dinamo Zagreb. The 21-year-old Spaniard was part of the Spain squad, obviously, that won the European Under-21 Championships in 2019, and he's also won a whole heap of honours back in Croatia with 4 league titles and I think 4 Croatian Cups, whatever the equivalent of that is. Despite his obvious talent and the fact that he's become their main man throughout the past few seasons, he's been used sparingly thus far this term, only racking up 22 appearances thus far for the Croatian side in the 1920 season. Although in that time he's been hugely productive, scoring 8 and assisting 7. Of course, this is the type of signing that RB Leipzig have been renowned for making in the past few seasons, hoovering up the youngest and brightest that Europe has to offer. Out of context, actually, that sounds really odd and a little bit iffy. But besides out of context connotations, he's a chap who's very dynamic, very forward thinking, but then again they are sponsored by Red Bull, so you know, they probably just pump it into their veins before every game and they just run around buck mental. How the arse did Red Bull ever catch on as a thing? I don't understand it. Just have a bloody cup of tea or a good solid 8 hours sleep. That's all you need. Bloody hell. And finally we move into the last section of this little transfer roundup, that being the most bizarre move of the window. Now the word bizarre has several connotations, either positive or negative. For example, the likes of Sander Berge going to Sheffield United, that raised several eyebrows, especially considering just how bright his future is and the level of clubs that were in for him. No offence to Sheffield United, they're playing exceptionally well and deserve to be where they are in the league currently. But the fact that they can attract the likes of Sander Berge ahead of Manchester United and Chelsea is a huge coup for the Sheffield club. As well as that, it can also be the likes of Ashley Young going to Inter Milan. Yes, that Ashley Young going to that Inter Milan. I remember when they won a treble 10 years ago, and now Ashley Young signing for them. I don't understand football anymore. Or the likes of Patrick Cutrone heading back to Italy after only 6 months in England. We didn't peg him to be really good and be a breakout star this year. You said it, we didn't. Shut up. Shut up. However, much like the first section of this review, there is only one name that springs to mind for this. I'll give you 3 seconds. Yep, of course it's bloody Odion Ighalo. Yes, the former Watford man, that Odion Ighalo, there's not 2 of them and one's been secretly bloody class for the past 3 years. It's that one that you remember playing for Watford, it's that one. He's been out in China since 2017 playing his trade for 2 different Chinese sides. Hang on, I'm going to read this because otherwise I will get it wrong, and I'll sound a wee bit Daily Mail, so hang on. Changchun Yatai, and most recently Shanghai Shenhua. Now, after I and the collective football world stopped pissing themselves laughing at this deal, we thought maybe we should have a look at his stats and just see what the crack is with this lad. He played 19 times this season for Shanghai Shenhua, scoring 10 goals and getting an average of 3.9 shots off per game. That sounds pretty good until you remember it's the bloody Chinese Super League. Look, is he the man to fill Marcus Rashford's boots during his injury period? Absolutely not. I mean, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, but he's absolutely not the lad. He's absolutely not. Although, considering they were linked with the likes of Islam Slimani, who, believe me, from personal experience, I can tell you, he's not very good. As well as being linked with the likes of Piątek throughout this transfer window, and Haaland. Eesh, that's a real slap in the balls, that. But is he better than having no cover at all? No. He's an extra body. Manchester United need bodies, especially in that forward position. And he'll probably do alright. For 6 months, he'll probably be fine. He might get a goal or 2. And on that note of being below bang average, we end this transfer roundup. Of course, we couldn't get to every single transfer that happened throughout January, because we'd be here all day, and I have fish fingers in the oven, and they should be ready right about now. Is that smoke I smell? So as always, let us know in the comment section below what you thought of the January transfer window. Was it really boring? Yes, spoilers, it was really boring. What signings did your team make? Do you think they were good? Do you think they were bad? Did your side make any signings? Are you really angry about it? I imagine you are. Who do you think was the best value for money, the worst value for money, the most bizarre, and the best under the radar signing? Let me know in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, do remember to hit that like button, do hit that subscribe button because it helps us out greatly and makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Well, until then, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you, of course, in the next one.